Welcome to another video of Edifo on SPSS tutorials. In today's video, we are going to learn how we can create variable in SPSS and how to enter data on SPSS. So let's begin. Open your SPSS software. This is the window that you can see in variable view, and here it is the data view. Before entering the data into the data view table, you need to define the variable under variable view. This is a structure that you are going to use for defining a variable in SPSS. Here you can see different attributes you need to fulfill for creating a variable in SPSS. So we are going to create a variable for this questionnaire. Here is the questionnaire: gender, department, etc. So first we are going to create a gender variable. So first thing, you need to give a name for your variable, and this name is going to be used throughout the data analysis in SPSS. So a variable is identified through its variable name. But before creating a variable, you need to understand some conventions of naming a variable in SPSS. Here is the conventions of SPSS naming a variable. The first naming convention is that you cannot start a variable name with a number, a space, or a symbol. You can only start a name with a character. So suppose I'm giving the variable name like this: 1 gender. You see, variable name contains an illegal first character. SPSS warns us. So you cannot start a name with a number. You cannot start a name with a symbol. For example, -gender. Again, variable name contains an illegal character. So you cannot start a variable name with a space or a symbol or a numeral. We can only start a variable name with a character. So gender. Now it's okay. Now we have already defined a variable called gender. So suppose we are giving a symbol in this name, gender -1. Again, Tally warns us, variable name contains an illegal character. So within a variable name, you cannot use any symbol except underscore. The one and only symbol you can use in the name of a variable in SPSS is underscore. Second naming convention. The third convention is that you cannot use space in variable name. You cannot use 2 words or 3 words in a variable name. Only 1 word. For example, just check it out. Gender space 1. Variable name contains an illegal character. So you cannot use space in gender name. Instead of, you can use an underscore. Gender _1. Now SPSS accept it. So these are the naming conventions. Once again, cannot start a variable name with a symbol, numeral, or space. Second one, cannot use symbol except underscore within the name. Third one, cannot use space in variable name. Okay, so that's all about name. Second thing is type. A variable can contain different types of data. That is, a variable can contain different nature of data. For example, if you are using your salary, it is a numeric variable. If you are using the name, it is a string variable. If you are using your date of joining, you are using a date type variable. So this is the examples of types of variables. You can click the button near to that. You can see the types of variables: numeric, comma, dot, scientific notation, date, dollar, custom currency, string, restricted numbers, etc. But very commonly used types of variables are numeric, date, and string. So for example, if you are using to enter a salary, you can use it numeric or you can use it as currency, custom currency. You can see different currencies are there. If you are using a date of joining as your data, you can select it as date. You can see different formats of date here. You can select and enter data. Suppose if you are going to enter the name of the employee, you need to shift your data types to string. String can contain any characters. So this is all about types. In type, you can define the data type, which type of data that you are going to enter under the gender variable. Okay. The third one is the width. Here I am going to define gender as numeric because we are representing the gender through numbers. I will discuss it later. Okay. Second is the width. Width is the length of characters that you are going to store inside a variable. That means how many length that you need to store a data under gender. For example, if you are going to store male as the data, you see MALE, 4 characters. That is the width of the variable. Here in numeric, SPSS automatically assign 8 as the width of the numerical data type. It is enough to store a much data. So if you want to store the name of a department, you need to extend the width of the variable because 8 is not enough. So if you are using string, you need to extend your width of the variable. And if you are using numerical, SPSS automatically assign 8 as the default width. So next is decimal. If you are using numeric or the currency as the data type, you may have to use this decimal place. Here in this, click this button, you can see the width and decimal place. You can assign here instead of assigning here. So here 8 and decimal place 2. If you don't want the decimal place, you can replace it with 0. Otherwise, you can increase with 3. So here the option is there. So otherwise, you can click here using this arrow. You can reduce or increase the decimal place. Here I am reduce the decimal place because gender has no decimal place. We can assign numerals to gender. No need of any decimal places. Next is the label. Label is description of variable. Why? Because a variable name has some restrictions on naming. Because we cannot use space, we cannot use numbers, we cannot use symbols. So name has a restriction itself to express what it represents. But in label, here you can explain what the variable name represents. Here I am typing gender of the employees. You see, here we can explain what the variable represents. Here, the variable name given here, you can in data view, you can see in top of its corresponding column. So that's why variable name should be very small. But here in label, you can explain as much as possible what the variable name represents. Very simple, it is an explanation of what the variable represents. We can give as your own. In data analysis, this label column is unimportant, but it's a good practice to enter labels for each variables. Next is value. Values are used to assign numerals to variable groups. For example, in gender, we have 2 groups, male and female. So how we can assign numeral to male and female? Click this button. You can see value label. Label means the label of group. Here I am assigning 1 to male. Add. Here see 1 equal to male. Then I can assign 2 to female. Add. This is a assigning of numeral to labels, or we can assign value to labels. This will be very helpful in the analysis phase. We are using statistical analysis. In the statistical analysis, numerals are more representative than strings. So this way you can assign values to your variable groups. Click OK. Now you can see here 1 to male and 2 to female. Next is the missing column. So missing attributes is used to assign numbers to missing values. Missing value means when we collect questionnaire from the respondents may omit some questions or they miss to answer some questions deliberately or not. This makes some problem in data analysis. So in SPSS providing a coding mechanism for handling these missing answers. That is handled using this missing value column. So I will explain this later in a separate video, how SPSS is handling missing values, because that is very important in the stage of data analysis. Next attribute is column. column represents how many characters we need to display in data view here. This is the width. Okay, so here the column means how many characters that we can see in data view. Suppose here it is defaultly 8 because the width of the variable is 8. Automatically this set to 8. Width is entirely different from column. Width means how many characters that need to occupy within a variable, and column represents how many characters we need to display in data view. Look here. Here I am changing this 8 to 16. Look at here. Automatically the display size automatically increases. Here I am reduced to 2. You can see here reduced to 2 characters. So it is very simple. How many characters you want to display in data view is called column. Next is the alignment. It is nothing but the data alignment in the data view columns. So you can align the data in left, you can align it in right, or you can align it in center. No importance to this in data analysis process, just for the purpose of view. Next is the measure. And this column is used to define the scale of measurement of the variable. Scale of measurement is nominal, ordinal, scale. In SPSS, scale means interval and ratio combinedly in SPSS under scale. So nominal scale, ordinal scale, and interval and ratio combinedly called scale in SPSS. So which type of measure that you are going to use for measuring gender variable? That is called measure. Gender is a nominal value. If you want to know more about the type of variable, in the description section below, I have given a link of video on the type of data. You just go through that. Definitely it will be helpful for you. So this is the measurement. A measurement means the scale of measurement that we are going to measure the variable. 3 types of measurement are there: nominal, ordinal, and scale. Scale here, interval plus ratio. There is no separate scale for interval and ratio in SPSS. It's combinedly under scale. The next is role. Very less used property of a variable. This is used to automate the process of analysis in SPSS. Without your intervention, you can automate your analysis in SPSS using roles. Different types of roles are there: input role, target, both, none, partition, and split. If your variable is a predictor, you can assign to input. And if your variable is an outcome variable, you can assign it as target. If your variable is both predictor and outcome, you can assign it as both. So I'm not interested in this role because automation of manual activity is not that much good, because we need to do what we want to do. Don't allow the computer to automate our activities. So I'm not giving that much importance in this role. You just leave it as input. So these are the different attributes we need to assign for creating a variable. So this way, our next question is your department. So here I am changing this gender -1 to gender. The next is department. The variable name I am going to assign is department. Tally automatically assign it to 8. Okay. So I am reduced the decimal place to 0 because I'm assigning numerals to department. So here I can give the label, that is department of employees. So here I am going to assign value 1 to sales department, 2 to HR department, 3 to marketing department, and 4 to finance department. 4 department. So okay. So missing value none. Column 8. You can increase the display of this column size by clicking here. I am assigning to 12, for example. So alignment, here I am align it left. So measurement is automatically nominal. Okay. So next question is your geographical region. So here I am giving region as the variable name. I cut the decimal place. So geographical region from where the employee came. 1 I'm assigning to rural, 2 to urban. Click OK. So column 8, alignment, assigning sender. So right, left, sender, we can check it out. It's a nominal variable. Next is your salary. So salary is numeric. We can assign decimal to 2, no problem. So salary of employees. No need to assign values because it is not a categorical or nominal data. So no values, no missing value. Column 8, here we need to change it to scale because it is a ratio scale. We can change the measure to scale. Next, we are going to collect. The question is the name of employee. So here I am giving emp underscore name. You see here, name is different data type, that is string. You can assign the character here or you can define here. So string is the variable. Here I am giving, for storing name, here I am giving assigning 25 characters because name is a string variable. You need more space for storing the name of an employee. So here I can give the label, name of the employees. So there is no value, no missing value. The column, we can increase the column because we want to display the entire name of the employee. So left alignment, it's a nominal value. So this way you can assign all the variables that represent each question from your questionnaire. Now we move to the next session, that is how we can enter data in data view. So move to the data view. Now we can see all variables in the top row. Each column represents one variable. So we are going to enter the value here. We can enter 1, that is male, 2 female, like this. So no need of entering male, female, it will take long time. So because we have already assigned numerals to each category group in a variable. So here I am entering 1, 2 like this. Get it? Again the department. Again we have already assigned some numeral values to department 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of typing the entire name, you can just type the representation value of the department. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. Here see, the alignment is left. Here the alignment is right. Here. Right and left. Now the region. Again we have already assigned numeral to it. 1 to urban, 2 to rural. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. This way you can assign the region. Next is salary. Salary is a numerical value, so you directly enter the value. Here I am assigning 55,000. You see, automatically decimal place is assigned here. So 65,000. Now here employee name. We can directly enter the employee name here. So John, Xavier, now here you can see the numerals, here you can see the original name. If you want to see the exact value of the data, here there is a button. You can convert the numbers to exact one, that is the characters, and you can again convert numbers. You just click this button, you can automatically see the exact value representation. Here 1, click here, convert this. So using this button, you can see the exact value which the numbers represents. So this way we can enter data in data view. So here we are defining 5 variables and we have already entered 9 respondents data. So next, if you want to delete a particular variable, for example, I am going to delete the name of the employee. The easiest way is that here you can just click the right button and press clear. automatically that variable is deleted, and just check it out, automatically that column will disappear. So this way you can delete the variable. And if you want to insert a variable in between two, just right button, then click insert variable. Here you can insert a variable and you can give it name, emp name. We are change it to string. No, name of employee. Then no value. We are assigning 25. Here we need to change it to 25. The left nominal. Here just check it the data view. Here an empty column you can see. You can enter the name here. So this way you can define variable, practice it, collect different types of questionnaires and try to create the variables and practice to enter data in data view. I hope you enjoy this video. If it is helpful, you please share your friends and colleagues. So see you in next video. Thank you for watching.